Good afternoon, or morning, whenever you happen to be looking at this. My name is Jason Porter. Mr. Porter, Lone Star, I guess, wants me to go by Professor Porter. I'm not that comfortable with that. But this is online dual credit psychology. I am your Lone Star teacher. You have dual credit, you have two teachers. You have myself, who is your Lone Star teacher, and you have your on-campus teacher, depending on, I have two classes. I have one at Cy Springs and one at Cy Creek. And your teacher is your on-campus teacher. Their job is to sort of guide you through this at their own device. I am your teacher of record only for Lone Star. Your Cy-Fair ISD grade is entirely designed and dedicated by your on-campus teacher. You're going to be covering the same material and you're going to be doing my work, which your on-campus teacher can use at their discretion to count towards your on-campus grade. But I will only be of record for Lone Star. All right. So this is just a quick intro video of kind of what that means. And of course, I'm sure your teacher will go about telling you their own ways of wanting to do things. So I'm just going to go through this quick PowerPoint here, take a little bit of a look at the class online, and we'll sort of go from there. I'm just going to do this, no script in front of me. So here we go. First off, let me make myself a little bit smaller. Welcome to my office. This is my at-home office here. So tells you I'm a little bit of a child. Here we go. Yeah, we can get all into that as far as defense mechanisms and whatnot and what that means. There we go. A little bit easier to look at. All right. So with that, let's now look at what this class is. First off, what people are always concerned about is the grade. Grading's a little bit different this semester than it was last semester. Last semester was the first time we did this hybrid online psychology where you could get it online as well as in class at the same time. Currently, I teach dual credit psychology here at Cy Woods. Cy Woods is my home campus, and my students learn it exactly like AP Psych, and I'm able to transfer the grades real easily. But online, it's a little bit different. We've changed it up a little bit. The numbers are a little bit different this semester, and the point value slightly different. There's going to be 16 total chapters. Going to be divided into 8 modules or units. You will notice that in a lot of my material, the module is referred to as units. Try not to get that too confused. So how your grade's going to come out is you're going to have chapter discussion posts, which will be 20 points each, total of 16 of those. There'll be an intro discussion post, which you will do at the beginning before you get lined up in there. So that's a total of 340 points right there. You'll have 16 individual chapter quizzes. Most of them will be 10-question quizzes worth 2 points each. A couple of them, I think, are 20-point questions worth 1 point each. But that's a total of 320 points. You'll have some chapter activities, 15-point each, times 16, and then a final exam, 100 questions times 1. And if you add them all together, you get 1,000. And that's the total points. So it's really kind of easy. If you're looking to get an A in this class, the goal is, how do I get up to 900 points or 895? And if you're looking to get a B, how do I get up to those 800 points, C 700 points, and D 600 points? Because with Lone Star, you can't get a D by getting a 60. It is possible. I've had a couple of students who have failed their on-campus class, but they passed Lone Star because the grading is a little bit different there. My email right here, that's my Cy-Fair ISD email. If you go to the website, there's my Lone Star email on there. And this website, I'm going to make reference to right here as well. This is a really general glance. I'm going to get myself out of the way here again. This is a glance at the semester pacing guide. Again, we do not officially start until January the 18th. And then this is basically, each of these lectures covers these particular days. So unit 1, lecture 1, lecture 2, lecture 3, 4, 5, and then this is a day to catch up on your assignments, and then here you take your quiz. Then catch up day, quiz, catch up day, quiz, and then by the time we get later on, Once we get past Unit 4, there are no real catch-up days. These catch-up days are designed for your on-campus teacher to make sure that you've got all your discussion posts done, you've got your activities done, and just to sort of set you up so that you can take the quiz on these designated days, the 26th, the 8th, 28th, 23rd, 7th, 20th, 2nd, 10. Those are the days. The quiz is your final exam is set up for the 13th. This is broken down to go along with the Sci-Fair ISD calendar. You will notice these pink days are days where Sci-Fair ISD is not in session. So I did kind of design it to go with that as you work your way through. And with that in mind, as we go back here to grades, discussion posts, please don't wait until the last day to do discussion posts, because the discussion posts, not only do you have to post your particular thought to a particular thing, but you also have to reply to a couple of other people. Now, if everybody waits until the 25th to go after the discussion posts, then you really don't have time to respond to everyone else. It's better if you just sort of do those and get those out of the way. Chapter activities, which are 15 points, those chapter activities, some of them are things that are online. They're sort of little online third-party things that Lone Star has put together. And some of them are specifically things that I've put together, and the directions are there. And then your quizzes will be on those particular days. Now, here's really what it gets down to, folks. If you just do the discussion post, and the discussion post really, as long as you're putting thought towards it, and as long as you're replying to other people and you're being logical about it, that's like easy points. It's almost a completion grade. If you just put some thought into it, use academia behind it and things like that. Chapter activities also pretty standard. It just, a lot of it's asking your opinion, how does it apply, etc. Those are pretty simple points to get. So you get 320, 240 right there. You're talking about 560 points. And then plus this is 580 points is just getting this stuff done. And you could get 50s on quizzes and 50s on exams and still pass this class, which of course is not recommended, but it could be done. The big struggle that students had online last semester that failed or struggled to get a D or pass their on-campus class was just not doing the work. Really, if you do it and you apply to it, it's a very, very doable class. Now, again, this is how the grades work out for the Lone Star grade. Now, as far as the Sci-Fair grade goes, your on-campus teacher has to decide, okay, this is worth 60%, this is worth 20%, this is worth 20%, because they have to go that 60-20-20 thing that advanced level classes get. So it's very possible, they may decide quizzes are the 60%. They're going to do it how they do it. So what's going to happen, your on-campus grade, whether it's at Cy Creek or whether it's at Cy Springs, your on-campus grade is probably going to differentiate quite a lot from your Lone Star grade. Also, when it comes to retest redo, there is no retest redo in Lone Star. You miss a due date, it's 0. You get a 50 on a quiz, it's a 50. There's no going back and retesting redo. Lone Star doesn't believe in that. Sci-Fair ISC does. So it's very likely, I can almost 100% guarantee that your grade there will be a slight variation. Even with my students on campus where I can put the 60-20-20, they do all the work, retest redo doesn't apply to their Lone Star grade. It does apply to their Cy Woods grade. Plus Cy Woods or Sci-Fair, you've got 2 distinct quarters. Here's what this quarter counts for. Here's what this quarter counts for. And then you divide it by 2, or you multiply it by 2. You don't multiply by 2, you add them and divide by 2, whatever. But it's not a math class you're taking here, thank goodness. But here, it's just a semester grade. Everything's included. And again, this final exam is going to be included in your grade for Lone Star, as well as a Cy Woods grade. If your teacher decides to put it in there. That's how it can factor in there. But as far as a final exam closer to June, last week of May, we're done May 14th, 16th, something like that. Let's go forward here real quick. We're done May 13th, and then there's still 2 weeks of school left. So that's going to be a chance where your on-campus teacher may want to do a project, whatever, help out your grades, continue your grades, and a final exam based on attendance, based on your grade, whatever. Were you able to exempt or not? That would be done by your on-campus teacher as well. Okay, let's real quick take a look here. I want to take a look at the what it looks like for you. If we go here, I'm going to use Psych right here. I don't know if yours looks like mine. I have no idea what it looks like from your angle. Though I did take some time last semester, and I met with some students that were taking this online, and I think we fixed a lot of the hurdles that we sort of needed to take care of. So let's just hit the content here. This is what you guys will get over here, I think is sort of, this is what's going on for the semester. For example, right here, we're to welcome to general psychology. And these are the things you sort of click through. Getting started, a checklist of how you get started. Here's a copy of the textbook. This is a massive vocabulary glossary. Let me just go ahead and click on that real quick and bring that up here. This is, I know it says AP Psychology up here, but this is basically a glossary of everything that we're going to go, where it says unit, that's module. But since you don't have a printed textbook, I would highly recommend you print this thing out right here, and this will help guide you throughout the quarter. And those will be available within each module as well. So that's this is all stuff you're going to do before class begins. How-to videos, help with discussion posts, everything else. The syllabus is located right there. Important due dates. This is a calendar that I had for you right. No, that's not it. That's not it. Anyways, oh yeah, that's right. This calendar right there is underneath that. It's a little meet me, which this video will be linked here once I finish it, and then just a little sort of, if you want to read a little bit about me, you've got that right there. Hey, there's me, and there's my lovely wife, way out of my league. And then we come back here, and this, your first grade is here where you do this little discussion post. This is going to be due January the 18th, which is kind of the first day of school, where you're going to go in there, you're going to introduce yourself, and then you're also going to respond to other people's introductions. If we go here real quick, this is sort of how you do it. Start a new thread, respond to other people, and I will go through and grade that. Now, when we come back here to content, once you get through this, then on January 18th, we also open up this. This is module 1, which is research methods in history of psychology. Module 2, biology and evolutionary. Psychology, sensation, perception, stress and health is module 3. Module 4, 5, blah, 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 blah. You can read. And this takes us all the way down to the disorders and therapy, and the final exam right there. So if you click on one of these, basically what it's going to bring you to is something that looks like this. And module 1, research methods, history of psychology. This is going to be my web page. This web page is my web page that I use for school. This has a lot of stuff you may want to go to and use. It says APDC psychology. So this has a little outline there that you can use. If I talked to students who took this online, they said if they had something to take notes on, that would help. This is an outline that you can print out and you can take notes on if you like. Here is a copy of the textbook, which is also linked on all these pages. Here is the vocab only for Unit 1. These are practice questions. These practice questions will help you sort of test yourself over Unit 1. And then what you have here are the PowerPoints, and then this is a lecture video of me going over this particular PowerPoint. Then what you also have is some supplemental videos, which will go over Lecture 1 if you want to look a little bit more on that stuff. And we look at Lecture 2, correlation and experimentation. Here's some stuff on the placebo effect that you can look at that goes along with that. So this is just my website, which can help take you through that. Now, with that in mind, you will notice if we go back here, this is a link to my website there. This is DC Psych Unit 1 review questions over history and research. So you could click on that. And this is just a PowerPoint, which has a bunch of practice questions on it where you quiz yourself, look at this question, and boom, there's a highlighted answer. And we go to the next one, look at the question, there's the next highlighted answer, highlighted answer. So you can sort of quiz yourself to see, do you really know this stuff before you get to the day of a quiz? Just a little way that you can help yourself study and be prepared for that. Here where it says psychological research, chapter 1, the readings, if we open up the readings part right here, this is the Myers textbook. This is the glossary for Unit 1. That's my website for Unit 1. That all goes under the readings. Under the PowerPoint presentation, here are the PowerPoint presentations 1, 2, and 3 over this particular part of the module. And then these are the notes if you want to print out, if you want to open this up and you want to print out these notes so that you can take notes over this, sort of help you out, use on the quiz, however your teacher decides to go about that, you can do that. So there's the PowerPoint presentation there. So we go back to that. Then we come over here, videos and lectures. Again, what we have here over videos and lectures is these are the lectures over this particular material, lecture 1, lecture 2, lecture 3. Then what you also have here is from Crash Course Psychology. They do a really good little 8-9 minute clip that you can go there and see their way of doing it. And that's a real thing when it comes to psychology, is the more ways that you can integrate something, the more examples you can see, the better it is for you. So we go back to chapter 1 here. So we've looked at videos and everything else. And now we get to the activity. So this is the example of the first activity. Here, it's going to be the placebo effect and ethics experiment. So you're going to watch this little 6-minute video to review about placebos. Then you're going to watch 10 minutes of an attached video. There's the attached video. The first 10 minutes, which is going to be about placebo surgery. It's really kind of fascinating. It's done by Dr. Mosley, who is a doctor here in Houston, Texas, kind of did fake surgery, but it worked. And then fast forward it to the 39-minute mark to the 45-minute mark, and a placebo hypnosis, a guy who used hypnosis to get rid of things using the placebo effect. And then you're just basically going to write an essay answering this stuff and then attach it. You will attach it to this particular document, and I will grade that particular assignment. That's activity 1. Sometimes the activity is going to be something like a little writing right there, 200 to 400 words. Sometimes it's a little online thing that you do as well. And then we come down here for chapter 1, and we go to discussion posts. And so if we clicked on this, your discussion post here is going to be watch this BBC replication of the Milgram experiment. It's about 15 minutes. Here's a summary of the Milgram experiment as well. And then basically, this experiment was looked at as unethical. The reason it was unethical is because people, weren't really excited with the results. This is what they thought the results would be, is everybody would be nice, but everyone's actually kind of mean. So it's just, you write a little sort of, here's why I think this was ethical, not ethical, whatever. And then you respond to others. Your original post, it's going to be worth 20 points. Your original post that you write down, it's got to be at least 100 words, is going to be worth 10 points. And then you're going to respond to 2 other people's posts. Those will be worth 5 points each. Those need to be at least 50 words. And I don't want you to sit there and count the words, but I don't want someone to respond, yeah, I think so too. It's got to be better than that. It's got to be more thought out than that. Okay, so sort of keep that in mind. And then this is sort of the breakdown of how I grade that, and just be very respectful to one another. So that's on that. And then as we continue on into chapter 1 here that we're using as an example, talking about research, and then we get down here to the assessment. Now notice the assessment is in class on the 26th. So you got to get all this other stuff done by the 26th. And then on the 26th, your on-campus teacher will say, all right, it's time to open up. It's time to take that particular quiz for that particular time. And you will be taking it for chapter 1 as well as chapter 2, which is on the history of psychology. And again, you would make sure beforehand that you have looked at the PowerPoints, the readings, all that stuff. And then you've done the activity and the discussion posts beforehand. So those are due, that's due on the 25th. And then the assessment is on the 25th. as well. Okay, so that's kind of how that looks and sort of a breakdown of that. And again, I think your teacher can better guide you through that. And then once we get through module 1, and then once we're through module 1, we go to module 2 on the 27th, and then that is, you know, biology and evolutionary psychology, and we just sort of work our way through. And that's kind of what, whoops, that's me. That's kind of what we're looking at here. So again, the first module just takes a few days there, and then a couple of weeks into the next one, a few weeks into the next one, and it's all going to wrap up on the 13th. Just a little bit here, slideshow from current. This was just a breakdown. If you have trouble and you can't, the link to my website's not working, you just put in Jason Porter AP Psychology. It's going to be the first thing that pops up there. You don't have to worry about that. If you want to download anything from it, get the links from anything from it, it really helps if you're using your Sci-Fair ISD account that you're signed in, or you're signed in your Google account. It makes it a lot easier, and then all that stuff is there. And again, just an easy way to sort of work your way through it. This kind of drives me crazy doing this. I like to be in front of students. I like to be talking to you. I like to be interacting with you. So again, when we these videos that are there, they're a little bit shorter because it's kind of me in this room rambling, which I did a lot last. I re-recorded all these last summer. So if I seem to go on a tangent, I apologize. But this is what we're studying here. We're studying. We're going to study stress. We're going to study motivation. We're going to study memory. We're going to study disorders. We're going to study all this stuff. And to me, psychology should be a required topic or course. It should be, because ultimately this is a class about yourself. Every other class you take, you could always make the argument, when am I ever going to need this? When am I ever going to use the Pythagorean theorem or whatnot? All of this is about you. Psychology is about you. You know, we're going to talk about how your brain works and everything else. And of course, everyone who takes psychology, the main thing is, well, am I normal? Normal is a relative term, okay? Normal is a relative term. What is normal for you may not necessarily be normal for me. You being obsessed with this thing right here and growing up with a smartphone, that's normal, you know, for you, because that's all you've known. That's what you've grown up with and everything else. To me, it's abnormal behavior because it's not necessarily what I do. Now, it's only a disorder if it gets in the way of your day-to-day life. All right. And then we'll look at that when we get to disorders and everything else. You know, if you look at my office, this is not a normal person. A normal 53-year-old man does not have toys of the Simpsons on his case, a Star Wars pinball machine. It's not necessary for a normal person. And a normal healthy person is also not a fan of this team right here, which drives me crazy. So yeah, normal is a relative term. All right. And speaking of relatives, real quick about me, I don't know what that has to do with about relatives. It's me in high school. It's me in college. I used to be a stand-up comic for a while. Also used to be in radio for a while. So the idea of me sitting in here and talking into a microphone, into a screen with nobody responding, kind of had a history with that in doing radio. Worked at various radio stations. I've worked at an all guys high school for a while. I taught an all girls high school for a while. As a matter of fact, when I taught at the all girls high school back in my late 20s, early 30s, I was still doing radio at the time. But that's when I first taught psychology, was back, what was that, 99, 2001, in that ballpark area. Then I was a principal of a high school up in Detroit, and then I got back into stand-up a little bit, and I've been teaching at Cy Woods. I want to say for 15 years. I'd have to figure it out, not sure. And this is my lovely family. I have 7 kids, and you'll hear a lot about my kids. I use my kids and my wife as an example all the time. I have a lovely wife. This lady is so far out of my league, it's ridiculous. It's a blended family. I got 7 kids. She brought in 6, I brought in 1. Math's a little off there. But It's a very happy family. It's a very healthy family, but it's a family. We've got, everyone's got issues. We've all got issues. I've got a couple of kids who've gone to therapy. I've got some kids that are on medication. My dog, who you heard bark earlier, is the only one in this household who has a Xanax prescription because she's got anxiety when she goes to the groomer. She's got to put a little Xanax and a little chew and try to calm her. It doesn't work. We've stopped it. It doesn't work. But yeah, Xanax, my dog. What are you gonna do? But yeah, I got 7 kids, 7 really wonderful, amazing children, and I've got this amazing wife. And you'll hear me talk about my wife quite a bit. And again, she's way out of my league. But my wife has suffered through anxiety. She's suffered through depression. She's had postpartum depression. She's had seasonal affective disorder, all of these issues. She's a very creative person, very artistic person, you see over there, which makes you a little bit more susceptible to depression and anxiety as well. But just really an amazing person. And I will talk about her quite a bit, and I'll talk about some of her struggles. And by the way, she's totally 100% okay with me doing it because she knows it's her story and she trusts me with her story and the way that I share it. My oldest son, Austin, who lives in New York City, he's an event planner, and his wife, Kayla, who works on Broadway. She was a dress designer worker for Jagged Little Pill. Now she's moved over to Aladdin because Jagged Little Pill, with COVID and everything else, has been knocked out of production. So these people are dealing a lot with the COVID situation now. Tyler, who recently left Stephen F. Austin and has gone to the University of Toledo, is in the fundraising department there, working with the athletic department, married to Heidi, and they're going to be having a kid. As a matter of fact, by the time you see this recording, the kid may have already happened. So I might be a grandfather at that point. Not really okay with that. This is my daughter, Faith, who is also pregnant. I guess my kids were just bored during COVID, but she is going to have her kid in May. So we'll have another grandchild on the way, and she's going to do it while also graduating with a PhD from A&M in May. So she's got a lot going on, and part of the whole COVID thing, she got married on Zoom a year ago, summer. She's been married for a year now, so it was a year ago last summer. Saved a ton on that wedding. And Faith graduated from Cy Woods. Teddy graduated from Cy Woods 2015, and he's up in Toledo, Ohio, working on a business degree. Quincy is class of 2018 for Cy Woods. He blew out an ACL. I'm a little jock guy. He's going to join the Columbus Police Department. It's getting in their academy coming up here in a couple months. Duncan, who also graduated from Cy Woods in culinary, is currently a baker up in the Columbus area as well. And then my daughter, Julia, who I brought into the into the marriage, and my little artist, she also has graduated from Cy Woods. So I have no kids in high school anymore. And that's weird. And I'm going through that process, that sort of changing, evolving process. Oh, and these are my animals. This is the one on Xanax right there. Look at that idiot. I got 2 dogs. I got 2 cats, a couple of ragdoll cats, and a couple of Tibetan terriers. And the puppies and kitties get along. They like to play and everything else. And they don't let me work when I want to work. But they're great animals. But I'll talk about them as well. So all this will be covered throughout the semester. Again, you want to get in touch with me, please feel free to reach out to me. If you need to converse with me, we can set up something on Zoom. However that works, reach out to me through email. I'm rooting for you. I'm rooting for you. I don't want you to sign up and get a bad grade. I don't want you to sign up and not learn anything. I want you to sign up. I want you to walk out of here in May. And at the end of May, you go, okay, I get that. Now I get why I do that. Now I get that. I had one girl write me a note last Christmas, and she told me in the note, one of the greatest compliments I ever got. She said, due to my class, she gets along better with herself, which I thought was amazing. She's getting along better with herself. Her expectations, because she's a perfectionist and everything else. So yeah, I just, that's what I want. I want you to learn more about you, and that's sort of it. Okay. So with that, that should be the class. Again, your teacher on campus runs everything. I am just the online guy. I am just your online, going to get you through, get yourself your Lone Star grade. Lone Star, Psych, kind of two different things here. But your on-campus teacher can take this material and can apply it to your Psych grade. How much, how little, totally up to them. All right, that's it. That's all I got for you. Thanks for listening. Have a wonderful, wonderful morning, afternoon, middle of the evening. I don't know when you're watching this. Some of you up at 3 a.m. Oh, by the way, when you're handing stuff in at 3:30, 4 a.m, get some sleep. Get your circadian rhythm working. All right, that's it. Bye.